Hi, my name's Paul. I'm a hypnotherapist and I also coach and mentor other hypnotherapists. Today, I've received another great question. It's quite a long question, so I'm going to take my time reading through it, so bear with me. My client's anxiety often traces back to an issue in their relationship. I've had quite a few people crying and saying how unhappy they are in their marriage or how their partner abuses them. They say they know their anxiety would stop if they weren't in this situation, and some have even asked me, do I need to get a divorce to fix my anxiety? Given that we can only help the person in front of us, how can we be sure that that really is the issue? And how do you help someone realize they need to leave their partner and not to feel bad about having just taken a lot of money off them for giving them this news? Okay, there's a lot packed into this, but first and foremost, I want to really get this across. As a conversation hypnotherapist, in fact, as any kind of hypnotherapist, it's not our job to tell people what to do. And I'm going to say that again because I believe this so vehemently. It's not our job to tell people what to do. Now, also, how does this particular client know that the partner is the stem, is the root of their problem? It's our job to help the client identify the root cause of their problem. Maybe they're just going through a bad patch. Maybe they've had a massive argument. Maybe things aren't going really well at the moment. So they're blaming everything on the other half. I mean, come on, who hasn't done that? We have to help the client figure out what is really going on. That's why it is so important to listen and pay attention and ask good questions. Ask open ended questions, ask short questions, use silences. I mean, okay, crying, we all know crying is processing. And just because someone says their marriage is unhappy and says that their partner abuses them, is that really the truth? Or are they kind of passing the buck? Does their anxiety stem from somewhere else? Now, that's your job. Your job as the hypnotherapist is to help the client figure this out. It's to get to the root cause, to figure out what is really, really going on. Also, if a client believes that if they leave the relationship, the anxiety will disappear, ask yourself this question. Why haven't they left the relationship already? How come they haven't quit? Hmm? It seems very easy, very simple, really a big excuse or a great excuse to blame the other person. They say they know their anxiety would stop if they weren't in this situation. How do they know? How do they know? It's a very simple question, but again, if we haven't been provocative enough, if we haven't pushed the client to come to, answers that they can see is the real reason why they've got anxiety, how do we know? It's our job to be provocative. It's our job to ask the questions that other therapists won't ask. That's why we get the big bucks. That's why we do what we do. That's why we don't take 25 clients a week, so that we can take the time with each individual client and help them figure out what is really going on. I mean, I agree. He says here, given that we can only help the person in front of us, yes, I completely agree. How can we be sure that this really is the issue? And how do you help someone realize they need to leave their partner? Well, that's not your job. That's not your job. You have to ask the questions. You have to use silence. You have to be the one that gets the client to go to that space to create the UMs where they can figure this stuff out for themselves. What else do I want to talk about this? If they're unhappy, have you asked them what's making them unhappy? Is it really the marriage? Is it something else that's making them unhappy? Maybe they're having a really crappy time at work. Maybe they've just lost a friend. Maybe their partner's been a pain in the neck. Maybe their partner's got a problem that they're kind of transposing onto themselves. Do they communicate with their partner? Do they talk about things? A lot of relationships end because people don't communicate. They don't listen and they don't ask questions. So let me just go through this one more time. It is not our job to tell the client what to do. Our job is to help the client figure out what's really going on. And the only way to do that is to ask questions, short, open ended questions. Who, what, where, when, why, but a little less of the why. Keep them open ended, keep them short, keep them penetrating. Push the client gently. And when I say push, I mean ask those difficult questions. What makes you believe that if you left your partner, you'd feel better? How do you know that? Where does that come from? Is that the truth or is that a belief? Is that something that someone has told you? Oh, you better go and leave Paul because once you've gone from him, you'll be fine. How do we know? If they've been with that person for 25 years or more, or 10 years or whatever, how do they know? Is it a conclusion they've come up with? Oh, well, everything will go away if I just walk out the door. We don't know. This is why it's crucial to get to the root cause. What is really kicking off this client's anxiety? Yeah, if they are being abused, why are they still there? Why are they still with this person? Through fear, through what? Again, you've got to ask the question. Okay, so your partner's abusing you. Yeah. Okay. How are they abusing you? Right. Okay. So why are you still with them? What's keeping you there? What have you done about it? Ask the difficult questions. Now, abuse in marriage is rife, in relationships is rife. I know verbal, physical, and sexual abuse happens all the time. But just because a person says that doesn't mean that's the case. Maybe they're the abuser. We don't know. Our job is to help the client get to the root cause. I've said that 3 times now, and it's so important. Work with the client, get those unconscious moments flowing so the client can go to the place where they need to go and they can figure out what's really going on and they can find their own solution. Not your solution, not my solution, their solution. Because that's the only one that's going to work for them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care now. Bye.